Good evening and welcome to the 2025 Research Placements and Experiences online celebration event. To introduce myself, my name is Megan Kennedy and I am the Student Engagement Lead at STEM Learning. That means that me and the Student Engagement team have been the ones behind the scenes, supporting students and placement providers this cycle. For some background, STEM Learning is the not-for-profit organisation that has been delivering this placements programme for the last 5 years now. The placements programme is a flagship part of our Destination STEM initiative that provides support, advice and opportunities to help young people explore pathways into careers, to develop their skills and connect them with employers. I'm so pleased to welcome you all to tonight's online celebration event. I appreciate you all have had incredibly busy summers, and I'm really looking forward to sharing with you more about the inspiring activities that have taken place, the achievements from all of you this summer and what that can mean for the future. But first, we're going to hear from STEM Learning CEO Séverine. So Séverine, over to you.
Hello everyone, I am Séverine Trouillet, the Chief Executive at STEM Learning. I am delighted to celebrate the success of our research placements and experiences, a flagship program of Destination STEM, a cornerstone of our mission to empower young talent through authentic STEM experiences, whatever their background. This initiative enables motivated students to collaborate with experts on live research questions, an opportunity that helps build confidence, research skills, and real-world insight. To give you an idea of the wide interest it generates, I would like to mention just one figure. This year, 4,000 students applied to take part. A heartfelt thank you goes to our brilliant supervisors who have navigated multiple platform challenges and operational changes this year with incredible resilience. Your steady support and adaptability have been powerful anchors, ensuring the program remained impactful. I truly appreciate how you've kept students supported and inspired. Your dedication now sets the stage for an even stronger program ahead. I would also like to extend our deepest thanks to our funders, Alstom, Vertex, and the Nuffield Foundation. Your generous backing has been essential in delivering these life-changing placements. As Nuffield's funding concludes on the 31st of December 2025, we are particularly grateful for your enduring support, which continues to enrich our students' futures. And finally, to our incredible students, congratulations. You've shown remarkable initiative, creativity, and determination in navigating this dynamic research environment. You can genuinely be proud of all your accomplishments. The competencies you've developed, from analytical thinking to communication and teamwork to problem solving, will serve you brilliantly in your next steps, whether continuing in academia or pursuing careers. Experiences like these do more than transform students. They enrich the industries and the communities they'll soon join. By opening talent pipelines early, we're jointly nurturing the innovators of tomorrow. So if you're part of innovative industries, research, or academia, there's never been a better time to get involved, whether by funding placements or volunteering to host our students. Your engagement shapes futures and strengthens the ecosystem. Thank you again to our supervisors, our funders, and students for making this year's program a resounding success. Together, we're inspiring the next generation. Let's carry this momentum forward and continue to unlock potential through partnerships. Just £50,000 support 50 life-changing placements for students. Thank you.
Thank you, Séverine, and I'd like to echo her thanks to the placement providers, the funders, and most importantly, the students. As Séverine mentioned, we had around 4,000 applications from up and down the country, so you should be incredibly proud that you reached this stage and can now say you've successfully become a part of this historic programme. So thank you for having the motivation to seek out opportunities like this. Thank you for your hard work and diligence in completing your applications, your assignments, submissions, and poster presentations. Thank you for having the courage to step into these professional worlds and work with those who are new to you. Take on tasks you may have never done before. Share your thoughts on subject areas you were not at the outset experts in, but can now talk about confidently. Tonight we're going to hear from those who have done exactly that, as they tell us what they got up to over the summer. We'll hear from placement providers who kindly gave up their time to host these wonderful placement opportunities, and hear from those who are generously supporting the programme via funding. We've also invited some placement alumni back, so you can hear from students who took part in previous years and how they leverage their placement to open up doors for their future education and employment. We are also going to be announcing the winner of our first ever video competition, so stay tuned to hear who wins first prize. But to get us started, let's hear from our student who took part this summer.
Hi, my name is Faiza. I'm currently studying biology, chemistry, and physics, as well as an EPQ. I'm in year 13 at the moment, and I'm really interested in sort of any science-related career, particularly medicine at the moment. I went to Addenbrooke's, the blood sciences department to be exact. There was quite like an extensive amount of subcategories, I guess you could say, within the sector in itself. There was a blood sciences internship that was going on, and doing that much work for an extensive amount of time, I thought it would really be beneficial for me, especially in my like career development. And I thought just gaining insight would help me not only be more appreciative towards people in that career, but also help me like gain a better understanding of the career in its entirety and how the hospital actually functions. I've sort of been the first person in my family to show interest in medicine. In my immediate friends, I think there is a couple of them who are interested in medicine, and I suppose it's nice to like get together and discuss ideas or application processes. The admissions exam that we're doing, it's really interesting. I was able to do some manual like testing of especially the newborn samples of blood, because I learned that since the babies don't actually give out enough blood, sometimes you have to actually do them manually as opposed to running it through the machine that everybody uses, the track system. So I was able to do that, and we did get a negative result, so the baby was fine. The people that I met on this placement, I would only meet them on this placement, since it was such like an unknown sector of the hospital. And I also was able to meet Dr. David Church, and he actually hosted a mock interview for medicine because he has a medicine degree, but also he had a background in biomedical science. So seeing it from both perspectives through one person was like quite amazing. Your interview starts at the waiting room. Like as soon before you walk into the interview room, they're already like judging you in a way, and they need to distinguish people very fast. So this was really surprising. And I think at the end of my interview, I asked a question, something along the lines of, what qualities does an ideal medical student have? And apparently that was something that I should not have asked, because if you're at that stage, then you must already be the ideal medical candidate. Throughout my placement, I learned about referencing the poster that I created at the end, referencing it properly, writing it properly, but then just personally learning about other people's stories and how they got into the career. Areas like that is like really insightful. Before this placement, I was thinking more patient-centered, but this placement actually helped me realize that there is a lot more research that goes on behind the scenes that we don't necessarily see. And even if you're not like directly telling the person that, oh, you have this disease or you have this, you're helping many people. This placement has definitely lent me more towards a research-based medical role. Just exposing yourself, putting yourself out there is really important, not just from an academic perspective, but really like personally, because it helps you realize like I would not have the appreciation for hospital staff that I have not known.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your story from your placement experience and the different things you learned this summer. As someone who works on this programme, I get to make a few in-person visits to students taking part in placements, but those visits only scratch the surface of all the different activities that the students have been doing. This year's placements range from osteoarthritis changes in the knee joint to creating visualizations of global air quality, from multi-scale quantum mechanics to augmented reality storytelling. It really is phenomenal what subject areas you've been involved with, and that is down to those who hosted you. So why don't we now switch to those who participated in this programme from a different angle, and hear from a placement provider who supported a number of students this summer, and who has done for some years now. Francesco, over to you.
My name is Francesco, and I've been working, or anyways, supporting this placement since 2016, 2017. We had 3 students that came to the practical sessions that we had. which means that they can rotate. So one can be the patient, another one can be the assessor, and the other one can be the assistant. And then they rotate. So having a sort of a class and working together is really something that I've learned. STEM placement, because they are a short period of time and because students choose to do it, they are way more motivated. They might change their mind. They might find out that, that's something they are not interested about it, or they might find that there's something else that they want to do. It can be something like history, philosophy, or something that is completely different. The student really have the opportunity to see how it is to be at university and how it looks like to do the specific degree that they might have read about or watching TV. I find it extremely rewarding for kind of many a different point of view. So from a pedagogical point of view, I find it quite interesting to talk with the new generation, see where they are in terms of interests, understanding how learning has changed. You need to be able to speak with that generation, even if the age gap is increasing. And working with younger students can help you in find the right language or the right interest. I remember a colleague of mine was saying to their student that she was born before Google, and they didn't believe that. How are you going to give to them the information that they need to study? How are you going to organize the teaching material for them and see what lends and what doesn't? See how you can explain using your own words, so making things simple, complex concept. They really boost your motivation for the semester, the coming semester, because you feel like, okay, they are on, they listen to those things, they do the tasks that they're asked to do, and they really come with very good questions. So we need those sorts of things, because it's our mood booster in a way, because it feels like what we are saying is not just there by someone actually receiving it on the other side. They become independent, so that they didn't need my assistant anymore to do the assessment or the task that I was asking them to do. They didn't need to go through a risk assessment. They didn't need to go through how the device work or how to measure those things or what type of outcomes we need to take. They were doing it on their own. I would say even a few days before the last day, they were completely independent. They will learn how to do referencing. They will learn which databases and which search engine to use. They start to look on how the academic writing looks like, because it's all about practice. It's not something that you learn out of the student. It takes time, but they start quite early. Very good advantage compared to their peers by taking part in those placements. Some colleague in the past, they have used this opportunity to organize their data sets or organize some of the data they collected. So it can also be a benefit in that sense. STEM placement is extremely diverse. I didn't have two students from the same background, which means that the way you explain things also might need to be adapted. You might need to use specific languages so that everybody understands and everybody is on track. So those are skills that really helps, because when you work at, then in higher education, you're going to have classes of 20, if more, people per session. So you don't have the time of actually build that one-to-one relationship that you actually do with STEM placement.
Thank you, Francesco, for sharing not only your thoughts on the students you hosted this summer, but also your continued support of the programme for so many years. Without our placement providers, this incredible programme would not be possible. You are instrumental to the success each summer. Thank you for your dedication, commitment to our mission, and for being such inspirational role models for the students. We're now going to hear from an organisation who not only hosted students this summer, but who also generously gave funding to enable us to support 50 students to take part. So I'm pleased to introduce the team from Ulster.
Hi, I'm Rachel Olomo, and my job title is Fleet Maintenance Engineer. We we do a lot of things, starting from obsolescence management of train parts, engineering changes for train systems, safety management, and safety notifications. We basically just make sure that the train is in service and safe to run. I'd basically say I have not really seen many young adults, teenagers interested in coming into engineering. So I saw this as an opportunity to, I'd say, market brand engineering to them, make them know that it's not all math and it's actually practical and interesting. My topic area was hosting the students in the engineering department, basically showing them a day in the life of an engineer. They enjoyed making a business analysis with engineering. They could see how a failed part accounted for great money loss and how engineering decisions and designs are very important in the business aspect. The standout moment was where we took them to the door test rig and showed them a practical situation of how the doors operate and what could be the possible faults or the possible implications when the door has a fault. I saw them very intrigued about learning the engineering behind the door engine. I expected them to be a bit resistant and defined in their ways, but they seem to be really open and eager to learn my story, understand why I became an engineer, and then they were more motivated to try out engineering. Benefit one, it gives them an idea of what we do in engineering. Benefit two, it helps them make a holistic decision about what career to actually pick. I witnessed some of the students develop new skills when we were carrying out the gearbox evaluation task. They could easily see how designing in engineering affects commercial thinking, and they could easily see that a bad design has financial implications, and they could easily link it back to suggesting good engineering designs that were safe and will be commercially viable. If you can make whatever you're trying to explain very relatable to them, they're more than happy to listen to you and actually gain something off you. So I just felt the need to talk less of engineering and more in their language. And that made it really easy to mentor them. For anyone thinking about this program, please do it. It's really beneficial for you and the students.
I'm Anil Acar. I'm a project procurement manager. I currently work at Alstom. I moved from Turkey to here in London maybe 1 year ago. So I'm currently work as a project procurement manager. I'm supporting the team for procurement activities, for all activities for the Northern Line project and also for London Underground projects. My topic was related with my job, so it was related with the procurement cycle of the project. I try to explain how we are negotiating with the supplier. They might use train every day, but they don't know exactly what's going on at the background of the stations and the trains. So it was good to show them what we are doing at the depot for the maintenance of the trains. And I showed them the little bit what kind of material we are using for repair and what kind of tools we are using. It was interesting for them because they asked a lot of questions about the tools and other materials. It was a really good experience for me to meet with them and to understand their education system, because I was born in Turkey. I educated there, so my knowledge was limited for their education system. So that I got feedback and I got really good ideas about education system also as well. I believe that there's a personal benefit for students to know this kind of company as working on the railway sector. It was good experience for them to make a decision for their career. Maybe they will not choose this procurement side, but they will know that what we are doing and what is the part of role of procurement in the maintenance projects. During our placement, I noticed that they want to improve their ability for some tools in the computer to follow all processes, all supply chain and procurement activities. When they experience this placement, they will notice that they are touching someone's life. So it makes feel good for everyone.
Thank you so much to the Alstom team for sharing more on the sorts of placements Alstom hosted this summer, and why Alstom supported the Research Placements and Experiences programme this year with funding for 50 students. We are incredibly grateful. But I'd like to invite some alumni to share the stories of their placement experiences from previous years, and what's gone on since they took part.
I'm Tom, I'm 19, and I'm a Level 3 IT Support Engineer Apprentice in North Yorkshire. Currently, I'm doing my IT apprenticeship at the Vehicle Group in Colburn. I was interested in the sort of cybersecurity, just any data, any coding, and I managed to get one at the HM Treasury in Darlington. They were having an issue with the Bloomberg API. There was a 15-minute delay and I had no idea why. So they put me on it as a project to research why, not necessarily to fix it, but I managed to as well. I feel that Molly and Laurie were especially valuable in terms of giving me guidance for not only my future, but any help that I needed during my placement. And especially, there was another apprentice that I asked like how they got where they were, if they'd recommend it, and they definitely did, in terms of if this is the right choice for my future. I booked a few meetings with people like who either went straight into the jobs, went for apprenticeships, went to uni, and they just let me have a general understanding of sort of their role, how they got where they were. So personally for me, I feel like during my placement, one of the most valuable skills I learned, especially during my first week, was getting used to all the internal processes that they have. Any company you go to, they'll have a million different programs, but just getting to experience it for the first time is really valuable because you get to adapt to whatever they have in place. I would say fixing the API because it gave me a lot more confidence in myself and it made me realise this is definitely a role that I want to have in the future because I like finding solutions, I like researching sort of anything to do with like programming, any issues like with IT, and I definitely want to specify into security in the future. In terms of my progression, I want to go from IT support engineer to network engineer, then to any cybersecurity role that I can diversify into. I feel it's definitely made me decide that I want an apprenticeship, and that's why I went that route. And I like the split of practical and education that I would get in an apprenticeship like I've chosen. And in the interviews that I did when I was at the Treasury with those people, definitely made me cement that in my mind as the position I want that would give me the most advantage in my future. I wanted a project that I could use in interviews in terms of any roles I want in the future, like my apprenticeship. And I feel like this is especially valuable because with the research placement that you do, you not only get a research paper that you can submit to get a Gold Crest Award, it's a complex project that you can talk about and that you can impress people with.
Thank you, Tom. What an inspiring story. It's wonderful to hear what you've been up to since taking part and how the placement programme has helped you get to where you are today. One big takeaway for the students joining us tonight is thinking about how you can use your experience this summer to help you in the future. Think about how you could talk about it in an interview, how it's helped you understand what you're capable of, and what skills you can now write down in an application. Let's hear from another alumni who can help tell you more.
Hi, I'm Aidan. I'm from Chepstow in Wales, but I'm currently in Cheltenham at the moment because I'm studying my first year in wildlife conservation biology at the University of Gloucestershire. My placement was on climate change's effects on UK agriculture. It was done with Aberystwyth University as like a fully online 2-week research placement, and it was mainly sort of looking at climate change's effects on UK agriculture and using different environmental science models. Andrew and some of the other sort of STEM staff had always said, like, even if it's not your chosen area, you still learn research skills and many other new things from it. So I think I applied for it just because of the fact that it would be something that could go on my UCAS application, but also something that could just be great experience to bring up in the future when I'm applying for certain jobs, if I ever do, especially if I ever apply for anything environmental science or some sort of research role. For my project organiser, Navid, whenever we'd sort of have any issue, he'd be happy to organise a meeting or have us drop him an email to help sort it out. And if there was any problem on his end so that he can attend a meeting or something, he'd always sort of send something over for us to do. Or he was just overall just very kind and generous with his time and really made sure we sort of understood what we needed to do. And I think that's why I ended up doing so well with my report at the end. I was quite proud of it. Doing something like this is definitely things that you can bring forward from it. Like, I know one thing I've had to do recently is one of my assignments is learn like how to do Harvard referencing or how to do referencing like correctly, like with the in-text citations and references at the end. So going for something like that is just nice because that's definitely something you'll have to do. It was definitely quite unique. I hadn't learned about it before, but I did really enjoy my time learning about it regardless. And I can definitely see how environmental science and my sort of current career path, like into conservation, I could definitely see how they link up. Also from my placement, I guess, just sort of having that opportunity to write my own report, create my own research post. So it was certainly something that is useful for me to look back on now, to try and emulate that style of writing that I need to follow. Going into my sort of future, hopefully into wildlife conservation, I will absolutely look back on my report and poster for inspiration, particularly on those sort of the different sections of the report, but also the formal sort of scientific language from it. And that will definitely help me in any reports or any sort of piece of writing that I will definitely need to do as part of a conservation role. One of the key highlights was when we were shown various sort of models that are easily accessible online, where you can just sort of input different variables into like different amounts of carbon emissions, and you can just see how that can lead to different outcomes. The sort of mission to net zero by 2050, it's for us to reach us. It's not something we can just do overnight. Loads of people who apply for a placement aren't fortunate enough to get to the point of actually being able to pick one. So to say, if you are at that stage, it's very important that you just follow through on that. At the very least, you'll be required to write something up, and that in itself is just great experience for when you go on to do other stuff like university later in life. My key takeaway from it was just the fact that, you know, I think it's a great program. There's so much you get involved with over the research placement that I think there's bound to be something in there for you.
Wow, thank you, Aidan. It's so amazing to hear how you're getting on and all the excitement and enthusiasm you have for the future. We've had lots of alumni go on to achieve great things, and some who have even come back to host students themselves. Something for everyone tonight to aim for. I'd like to take this chance to remind everyone of how they can go about applying for a CREST award. CREST is a nationally recognised scheme for student-led project work in the STEM subjects. With a CREST award, you can evidence the transferable skills you developed on your placement, so things like problem solving, creative thinking, effective communication, time management, and many more, as well as in-depth scientific or technical knowledge. A CREST award will give you the opportunity to reflect on your work and give real-world context to your research. Being able to demonstrate you pose these skills will make your UCAS application or CV stand out. As you can see, those who completed a 2-week placement can follow these steps to apply via the CREST website for a gold-level CREST award. And those who completed a 1-week placement can let us know if they'd like to automatically be awarded a bronze-level award. Either award is free for placement students, and for more information you can download our guidance document from the placements platform or get in touch via students@stem.org.uk. So, we're nearly reaching the end of tonight's event, but we're going to hear from one last alumni before we announce the winner of our video competition. So over to you, Millie.
Hi everyone, I'm Millie. I'm a data science degree apprentice. I started my programme when I was 18 and I'm now 20. I've been studying for my data science degree and working alongside this at a biopharmaceutical company called GSK. Relating my work back to common subjects at school, I would say data science is most related to maths, statistics, computer science and business. I help scientists get the most out of their data by designing databases so we can store the data that they generate, designing pipelines to automate processes, and presenting insights in the form of dashboards and graphs, essentially turning numbers into pictures and words for insights. My placement was hybrid between the University of Exeter and working remotely from home. I worked on a research project in data analytics, analysing data on user metrics published by social media companies. Using the programming language R, I performed high throughput analysis on large data sets and developed skills in science communication, ethics, critical thinking, statistics programming, and teamwork. I also had the chance to meet academic mentors and industry professionals, which I wouldn't typically interact with in everyday life. One of the things I wasn't expecting was the connections I would make. Everyone was so friendly, encouraging, and we're still in touch today as we share similar interests and are studying the same subject. Lots of our maths lessons were very theoretical. Nothing was really applied. So when we were applying statistics and mathematical concepts in a real life scenario with real life data, I was really able to see how this pans out in real life. And it was the professor who was telling me that data science is actually a job, it's a whole field, it's a career. And I got really excited to where this could potentially take me. When I went back to school, I mentioned that I'd been inspired, I'd heard this new term data science, but unfortunately my teachers weren't really aware. So if I had never gone on the research placement experience, I wouldn't even know what data science was. I hadn't done computer science in school, so I thought this wouldn't be for me. I thought I'd be really behind. I didn't know what it would involve. I was able to realise that my love for biology and my newfound skills in data science could be combined and lead me towards a career in bioinformatics, which is where I am now. Although the topic that we were researching was more social sciences based, and I knew that I was more interested in pure STEM, I could see the connection between biological data and data analysis. I didn't have any contacts in the pharmaceutical industry that I knew I wanted to go into. My parents hadn't been to university, my careers advisor wasn't much help, but the professor that I met at my research placement was really helpful in providing these insights. And I've always got that contact there that I can go back to and ask for any questions or advice. It was a very safe and nurturing environment to explore new things. My professor was a new contact, so he didn't have any previous impressions of me. I could ask whatever questions I wanted. My teachers weren't there, my peers from school weren't there, so I could really just ask any questions, try anything I wanted. It didn't matter if I mess up, it wasn't an exam. Anything that I might have viewed as a mistake, I took as a learning journey, and this helped in my poster presentation at the end. It helped me explain my learning path and the key things I'd learned, and it was a great reflection on my experience. The most valuable part from my research placement was that it sparked my confidence in seeking opportunities, asking questions, and networking with professionals in my area of interest. Looking back, I really enjoyed the practical aspect of my placement. This inspired me to explore apprenticeship opportunities where I'd be applying my knowledge in a practical context rather than just theoretical learning like traditional university. My interviewer gave me very positive feedback that I was confident in how I came across, and they were impressed that I sought the initiative to find this placement for myself. Don't worry if your placement doesn't exactly align with your future career path. You still gained a lot from it, such as transferable skills. One piece of advice I'd like to give is don't underestimate the value of practical experience and the application of your knowledge. I signed up to a summer school in genetics, and this connected the dots between my research placement and my apprenticeship where I am now. Step 1, I went on the train to Exeter, which was very scary. Step 2 was getting on the train to go even further to the celebration event and talking about my project, which was the next step up. And now I've been invited back to speak about the impact, how that links to where I am now. It's been a long journey, and I'm very proud.
Thank you, Millie. That's a perfect ending to our speaker list tonight. I think you've summed up the opportunities and impact that a placement can have perfectly. And if you'd like to join our alumni network, please get in touch via students@stem.org.uk, and we can send you an invite to our brand new LinkedIn alumni group. Network with your peers, hear what others before you have been up to, and keep in touch about any new opportunities. So now we reach the final part of the event, the video competition winner. We had lots of great entries from you all this summer, so thank you for taking the time to document your experiences, your placement activities, and your thoughts on participating in the programme. I'll start with the 4 runners-up, who all win a £25 Amazon voucher. In no particular order, we have Pfizer, Jenny, Lisa, and Charlie. Well done to you all, and thank you so much for your entries. We'll be in touch soon with details of how to claim your voucher. But the winner of the 2025 Research Placements and Experiences video competition is Terrain. Congratulations. Let's take a look at what she had to say about her placement experience.
Put your finger down if, through Destination STEM, you were given the amazing opportunity to get paid work experience in the Museum of Oxford Natural History.
Keep your finger down if, this summer, you held a live beetle, viewed fossils underneath a microscope, including those collected from amber millions of years ago, used those specimens to collate real data, stood in the spirit room, surrounded by animals preserved in jars since the 19th century, used a PCR and an ultracentrifuge on your own cheek cells to identify your taster gene, and held the cutest taxidermed Monjack deer.
I not only was able to attain information from multiple different specimens, but I was able to speak to paleontologists, archaeologists, aspiring marine biologists, and more.
If you want an opportunity to do a placement involving STEM this summer, sign up to Destination STEM.
So that brings us to the end of tonight's event. Thank you so much for joining to celebrate this year. Thank you to those who funded and hosted placements, the friends and family at home who gave their support throughout the process, and to you, the students, for taking part. You all have such potential within you that I hope this summer has helped you believe in the possibilities for your future. So a final huge congratulations. Well done to you all, and we wish you the very best with whatever is coming next. Please keep in touch to let us know what you get up to. Thank you and good night.